What is up, my people? IQKid here to talk about geometric series. A geometric series is simply the sum of the terms of a geometric sequence. A geometric series can be written in two ways: summation notation and subscription notation. The summation notation has the following form. The sigma symbol from n equals 0. You can also do n equals 1. But I will show you more about that later. So for now, n equals 0 to k of a r to the n, where n is the variable, k is the number of terms, a is the first term, and r is the common ratio. Okay, and subscription notation is the following. So subscription notation is S sub n is equal to a times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. So in this, S sub n is the sum of the first n terms in a sequence. Okay, and also if you're starting from n equals 0, you're actually taking s sub n plus 1, and I'll show you more about that later. Okay, and then also, so add 1 to n if starting from n equals 0. Okay, and then a is the first term, r is the common ratio, and n in this case is the number of terms. Okay, so with this, let's go ahead and do a couple examples. So we're going to start with a couple examples of summation notation. Okay, so the first example is to determine if the series is geometric, and if so, evaluate. So in this series, we're going to do the summation from n equals 0 to 5 of 3 times 2 to the n. So step 1 is to expand and simplify. So summation from n equals 0 to 5 of 3 times 2 to the n is equal to 3 times 2 to the 0 plus 3 times 2 to the first plus 3 times 2 to the second plus 3 times 2 to the third plus 3 times 2 to the fourth, and then plus 3 times 2 to the fifth. And then to simplify that, that would be 3 plus 6 plus 12 plus 24 plus 48 plus 96. Okay, so then step 2 is to determine if common ratio exists. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 24 divided by 12 is 2. 48 divided by 24 is 2. And 96 divided by 48 is also 2. So therefore, the common ratio exists and is 2. So therefore, this series and this sequence is geometric. Okay, and then step 3 is to evaluate. So we're just going to take 3 plus 6 plus 12 plus 24 plus 48 plus 96, and that's equal to 189. And that's your final answer. Okay, so let's look at another example. In this example, again, we're going to determine if the series is geometric, and if so, evaluate. So this series is going to be a summation from n equals 0 to 3 of -1/2 times 3 to the n. So step 1 is to expand and simplify. So that is equal to -1/2 times 3 to the 0 plus -1/2 times 3 to the first plus -1/2 times 3 to the second plus -1/2 times 3 to the third. And that's equal to -1/2 minus 3/2 minus 9/2 minus 27/2. Okay. And then step 2 is to determine if a common ratio exists. So let's take -3/2 divided by -1/2, and you get 3. -9/2 divided by -3/2, you get 3. And then -27/2 divided by -9/2 is also 3. So therefore, the common ratio exists, and it is 3. Therefore, this sequence and series is geometric. So step 3 is to evaluate. So it's equal to -1/2 minus 3/2 minus 9/2 minus 27 halves, and that is equal to -20. Okay, and now let's look at a few examples, or a couple examples of subscription notation. So in this example, we're going to find S sub 7 for the sequence A sub n is equal to 3 times 10 to the n minus 1. Now the n minus 1 alone would tell you that you're starting from n equals 1. If it were 3 times 10 to the n, it would start at n equals 0. Okay, so to start, let's write the subscription formula. So S sub n is equal to A times 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. So step 2 is to find the first term, A. So A is equal to 3 times 10 to the 1 minus 1, so A is equal to 3. So step 3 is to identify the pieces. So A is equal to 3. R, if you look at this, this is R would be equal to 10. So it would be AR to the n minus 1. So then n is equal to 7. And then step 4 is to plug and chug. So S sub 7 is equal to 3 times 1 minus 10 to the 7th over 1 minus 10. So S sub 7 is equal to 3,333,333. And that's your final answer. Okay, let's do another example. In this example, we're actually going to take a summation notation and evaluate it using subscription. So in this example, step 1 is to write both formulas. So summation is n equals 0 to k of a r to the n, and summation is s sub n is equal to a times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. Okay, so then step 2 is to find a. So you could just look at your formula, but I'm going to plug in the numbers to find it for you, to help you find it. So a is equal to 2 times 3 to the 0, since you're starting at 0, to the 0. So therefore a is equal to 2. So then step 3 is to identify the pieces. So in step 3, a is equal to 2. Let's go ahead and pull this formula back up. So then r is equal to 3. N is equal to, since n is going from 0 to 5, but you actually have 6 terms, n is equal to 6. If you were starting from n equals 1, then you'd n equals 1 through 5, then you'd have 5 terms, so n would be 5 in the subscription formula. But since it's 6 terms, you have 6, since you're starting at 0 instead of starting at 1. So then S sub n would actually be S sub 6 instead of S sub 5. And that's, both of those are since we're starting at n equals 0. Okay, so then step 4 is to plug and chug. So then S sub 6 is equal to 2 times 1 minus 3 to the 6th over 1 minus 3. So S sub 6 is equal to 728, because this becomes -2 and that becomes a negative. So the signs cancel and the 2's cancel. So your answer is really that right there. So 728. Alright. That is all I have for geometric series. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I know the thing with the ends can be kind of confusing, but yeah, definitely you can contact me through email, which is in the description, or for this video I will put my Snapchat in the description, so you can contact me through that. Also, if you have an idea for the next video, you can contact me about that, and I will try to make it as soon as possible, like next day or maybe even same day if possible. Depends on how many requests I've gotten. And then yeah, so have a wonderful day and try and make each day better than the last. Like, comment, subscribe. IQ Kid signing off.